My family's huge, and we're very family-oriented. Myself, I'm just an average girl. In my life, I've been through a lot. I found out I was diabetic. I've got my license suspended, jail again. Like, it was just a lot. We were driving. It was like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. My sugar got really low. I started shaking. He sped out. He came up behind us, pulled over. I told him what happened. I was arrested, and now I have to pay $3,000 in fines for Virginia. $3,000, that's a lot of money. Because I couldn't afford to pay my fines, my license was suspended, and I ended up in jail in 2 different states. My first phone call from jail was to my mom. It was heartbreaking. Like, she answered and like, "What's wrong? Where you at? What is going on?" And I'm like, "I'm in jail, about to die. Like, I'm gonna die here. They're not giving me medicine." It was like the worst experience. After like 2 days, I finally was able to call her. And yeah, it was hard. Very hard.
I got a call from Desiree's mother that Desiree was in jail. I called Desiree and she sounded probably the worst I had ever heard. She told me that she had been jailed and that she had been without insulin, and that they weren't really believing her that she had diabetes. And for a lot of our patients who don't have consistent lives, diabetes is in many ways a death sentence. I called her public defender, which she gave me the information for, and told him that yes, in fact, she does have diabetes and that she was not in a good situation.
If doctors had advocated for me, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys.
A lot of what I think about is how things like transportation affect health. When it comes to transportation, it can actually be a tremendous barrier to people being able to access care to medical systems.
I can't make it to half my doctor's appointments, so I'm scrambling, trying to find different doctors so that's closer.
So one of the things that happened as a result of Desiree going to jail was that she lost her endocrinologist. Doctors' offices don't like it when you don't call and don't show up. But in jail, you have a very limited number of phone calls, and so your phone calls aren't necessarily going to be to the endocrinologist to tell them that you can't show up. We perpetuate the system of inequity by basically saying to people who it's already difficult for them to get to the doctor's office, "Sorry, you can't have a doctor anymore."
Yeah, it creates a huge problem, and it just keeps you in this ongoing cycle of paying bills, license suspended, going to jail, coming out, extra money is being spent on bail. It's just a repeated cycle, so it's like you're never gonna get out of this cycle. If I could get on a reasonable payment plan, I will be able to pay it off, get my license back, and go back to living a normal life.
I wish that we had a system that better had a place for her, where she wasn't constantly bouncing around between the criminal justice system and the doctor's office and poverty, because she has a tremendous amount to give that we are losing in the society because of what we do to people like her.
One thing that brightens a typical day for me is my daughter. She's so understanding. She's like, "Oh, it's okay. We can do this. Oh, we don't have to do that. If you don't have any money, it's okay." So, my daughter. I'm hopeful for one day I'll be able to pay these fines off and be able to get a license again, live a normal life.
We have to look ourselves in the eye and ask ourselves what kind of country we want to live in. Do we want to be in a place where we jail people for minor traffic violations that effectively destroy their lives? Or do we want to be in a place where we help people figure out how to live better lives, get access to education, learn how to build wealth, and learn how to create better communities?